Pranam Acharya ji.
Rajdeep.
Yes, I was studying about the impact of Bhagavad Gita on the world,
Hmm.
uh, basically trying to understand how West interprets it versus
Hmm.
how East interprets it.
Right.
So uh, I was just looking at what great people from West and from East
Hmm.
about Bhagavad Gita.
Hmm.
So my observation was the details are in front of you.
Hmm.
My observation was that Westerners, when they talk about Gita, they always talk about the philosophical aspect.
Hmm.
That is the Gyan Yoga part of
Hmm.
Bhagavad Gita.
Hmm.
For example, Aldous Huxley, Henry David Thoreau, Hermann Hesse, Wilhelm van Humboldt. In
Hmm.
all their four quotes, you would see the word philosophy that is mentioned ever.
Correct.
Hmm.
But when you look at people from East, such
Hmm.
as Sri Aurobindo Ghosh,
Yeah.
Manya Tilak, Jawaharlal Nehru, if you look at their quotes, they have this message of duty in them.
Message of
Duty, karma, action. They are not stressing more on the philosophical aspect. They are stressing more on the action aspect of
no.
Gita.
You see, the Gita is to each one what he misses and needs. The ones that you have quoted, please remember the time they are coming from. I'm talking of the Indians you have quoted, Aurobindo, Tilak, Nehru. They are coming from a pre-independence India, an India that, in spite of its size and might, got colonized by people coming from a small group of faraway islands, right? And this country claimed to have a lot of knowledge since eternity, and yet it was somnolent, lethargic, inactive, comatose in spite of being humiliated. So therefore the call is of action. When a revolutionary will have Gita in his hand or heart or pocket, obviously he will read rebellion in the Gita. When somebody who is trying to stir the country up is invoking the Gita, obviously he will say that the Gita is a call for action, and he's not lying. It's true. And the other ones you have quoted from the West, they already have enough of action. So what they appreciate from Gita is insight. They have action but not insight. The West has never been able to go into the self. I often say that's India's one and final contribution to humanity, Atma. And the equivalence of the reality as you perceive it outside of yourself and the reality of the perceiver itself. That's India's contribution to the world. Now, the West never had it in a philosophical sense. There's equivalence. That Atma and Brahm are one. And that what you see outside of yourself is nothing but your own projection. And that the highest truth is nothing but a pure mind. Brahm is Satya, the highest truth. And Brahm is Atma, which is a pure mind. So the highest truth is just a pure mind. No creator is the highest. The purity of your mind is the highest. Now, that's a very disruptive thing to say to a Westerner. For a Westerner, if he comes from a religious strain, the creator is the highest. But the Gita says, no, not the creator. Your own mind is the highest, provided you can rid it of yourself. Your own self is the ultimate. Yourself is the creator, the runner, and the highest bliss. So that's what the West takes away from the Gita. That insight into the self. So they will say, oh, the philosophy. Because philosophy, you know what it means. Love for the truth. The West gets the inner truth from the Gita. India gets this clarion call. Come on, get up, rise, rebel from the Gita. The Gita, the 18 chapters, they contain everything. It's like a mega mart. Not everybody walks out with the same thing. If you're sincere, you will get what you need and what you deserve. So the West gets one thing, India gets another thing. And the India that we are talking of is India of a specific period. And the Indians that you are talking of are all freedom fighters. Therefore, you see a particular common orientation here. Nothing more to that. If you will look at other Indians from the same era, you might find that they are talking more of bhakti. Or some other chapter is more appealing to them. That is quite possible. In the hands of a freedom fighter, the Gita is a manifesto for vigorous action.
So my interpretation, as I mentioned there, I had two interpretations. One was that I thought maybe East couldn't understand Gita that much, because in chapter 4, verse 33, it is mentioned that Gyan Yagya is the highest of all karma.
Yes.
So that was one interpretation, one conclusion. My another possible conclusion was that the man of West is sitting comfortably with his basic amenities assured. So it is easy for him to look at the philosophical aspect of Gita, versus man on the East is ill-fed, ill-dressed. At the time of independence, he is under the subjugation of foreign masters. So he focuses on action and rebellion. I mentioned these 2 points as well.
See, what happens is that the West loves bland food. So they'll have freshly cut fruits, let's say. And the East will have fruit chaat. So the West has the Gita, India has Gita ++. So you go to someone who would claim to be a Krishna lover, and he would talk of the Gita much later. Before Gita, he will talk of 5 other Puranas. And that's where he totally loses it. And that's where the West is saved. The West has no need for that ++. The West has no need for chart. The West says the fruit is sufficient. I do not need 5 kinds of irrelevant spices. I want to know the message of Krishna, not stories about Krishna. India got lost in the stories. That's where India missed it. Even today, if you go to someone and say, tell me something from Krishna, chances are he will not tell you anything from Krishna. He will tell you something about Krishna. Now that's a great problem. Because we are very body-centric people, so we live in personalities. So even when it comes to Krishna, we have started a cult of personality. Do you see what we are doing? Because we love our own personalities. We think we are the personality, and the personality is the outermost layer of your being. Is it not? Because you think of yourself as the personality, therefore you have started thinking of even Krishna as a personality. And you then start a whole thing around it, and that has been happening since centuries. And that entire process, India has missed out on the Gita. The West will not say, I am very interested in what the Krishna did with the gopis or how he defeated the great snake. West has nothing to do with all that. The West went directly to the fruit. We got lost in the spices. And we totally lost our way there. In the whole jungle of spices, we are lost. The West said, nothing doing. Keep the trivia apart. Don't give me the trivia. Give me the real thing. So the West got the real thing. And we got stories and occult and all kinds of nonsense. That nonsense has no takers in the West. And in India, only that nonsense has takers. That's the problem. Makhan, makhan. West ne khaya. Very unfortunately, but that's what has happened. Philosophy for the West and Jadoo Tona for the East.
So, coming to the second part of my study. So, if you look at the last page, there I mentioned that there is some part where East has benefited a lot from Gita. For example, I would even say that independence of India came because of Gita. There I mentioned that there is no freedom for man without Gita held in his hands.
Yes,
So
very good.
there are few instances.
Right.
So one is Swadeshi movement from 1905. 50,000 people in Bengal came out.
Rajdeep, nobody in his right mind can deny this. The Gita is a call for enlightened action. Simple. Enlightened action. Both these together, not just action, but enlightened action. If someone says Gita is about surrender, he is missing it. If someone says Gita is just about knowledge, he is again missing it. Gita is about living your true self. Ultimately, Arjun has to be brought to act. But Krishna does not want to just compel him to act. An external force can be applied and Arjun can be made to fight. Maybe all that was possible. But Krishna said no, his action must arise from his deepest realization. So, in a very tedious and painstaking process, Arjun was first brought to his core. And from that core, the purity of karta, arose the right karma. From enlightenment arose action. So Gita is about enlightened action. Therefore, it is very, very natural, obvious, that anybody who is rebelling against the status quo would find the Gita indispensable. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, the Gita will always be, you could say, a lighthouse for all those who are traveling or sailing towards liberation. There are treatises on Gyan, and there are commandments on action. Are there not? When you have commandments, they pertain only to action. Do this, do not do this. Correct? And when you have stuff on Gyan, that pertains only to knowledge, realization. The Gita is a wonderful confluence. You have to act, and your action must arise from your realization. So all those who want to undertake a great mission involving action, you will find them rushing to the Gita in love and veneration for all centuries to come. The Gita offers both, and both are needed. If you just act, you are following impulses or commandments. If you claim you have knowledge, then your knowledge is insufficient if it doesn't translate into action. The Gita is both.
So even apart from Swadeshi movement, there were many freedom fighters. I mentioned 4 names.
Yes.
So they said they were basically persecuted, hanged by Britishers. They said, we want to die with Gita held in our hands. This was
Yes.
their wish. Damodar Pant Chapekar, Madanlal Dingre, Khudiram Bose, Hemu Kalani. So, I mean, this is the moment where my physical self, the body, which is everything to the ego, that is about to end. And at this moment, if I want to, hold Gita, that means there is something special about that.
That simply means that the Gita has brought you to something more dear to you than even your body. You are saying the body is going. It's okay. The Gita must be held close. The body is not to be held close. Some of them could have apologized, the others could have tried to run away, something. Some could have become informers. I said, no. The body is going, that's okay. The Gita must not go.
So this was actually a 2 or 3 weeks rigorous study about Gita for what West says, and this was just a summary, 2-page summary. So I got inspired from this and started reading the book, The Discovery of India by Jawaharlal Nehru. So because I was reading through the importance of Gita on freedom movement. So in that, he has one chapter called Bhagwad Gita and one chapter called Upanishads. So in that Bhagwad Gita, there are a few things which after listening to your Gita discourse, it seems that he may not have understood. But one thing is certain that he acknowledged is that there is something timeless about it. That acknowledgement is definitely there.
That acknowledgement he has for Advaita Vedanta as well. In the entire gamut of the entire spread of Indian philosophy, that's what he admired the most. Though he was forthright in admitting that he, beyond a point, starts feeling scared of the abstractions Advaita Vedanta leads to.
So I have started that journey from there. Plus, I've started reading about other people from West as well. So
that would be very instructive if you can get that multiplicity of perspective. That would surely be helpful.
That book, The People of the Lie by M. Scott Peck.
Yes.
So that is from West, and this Discovery of India from East. I'm reading both of them parallelly. Plus, on top of that, I've started reading this book called The Imitation of Christ. So Swami Vivekananda had 2 books in his pocket, in his bag always. One is Bhagavad Gita and second is Imitation of Christ.
Right.
So these 3 books I'm reading. So I call this book Imitation of Christ as the making of a Vivekananda. I've named this for myself. The making of a Vivekananda. This book is brilliant. Thank you for giving this time. And also I would like to thank Anupam ji that he gave this opportunity to, he took the trouble of printing it and bringing it in front of you. So yeah, thank you to him also.
Wonderful.
You're welcome, Rajdev. Thank you.